Welcome to this episode of Athletic Training Chat. On this episode, we took a special trip down to Mueller, met up with the guys from across the state, but also the host of the podcast, Candid Athletic Trainer. We've been trying to set this up for a while. It was funny that two podcasts got set up in the state of Wisconsin around athletic training basically at the same time. So we really wanted to do kind of a mixed episode where we cover a lot of the segments that the guys from Candid Athletic Trainer do, which were a lot of fun, plus getting into just why we all started the podcast that we did and what our whole goal was, and it really just kind of goes from there. This is by far one of our longest podcasts, but I think it's worth the listen. Sorry we kind of jump into it. We were hit record and conversations just started going, and we ultimately ended up with that. So if it seems a little fragmented on the front end, that is why, but we really get into it and organize it a little bit more as we get going. Great set of guys, really curious to see where they're going to take this thing in the future as they keep expanding with it. I think they could do a lot of things and have a really cool impact on the profession. As always, we are powered by Mueller Sports Medicine. Again, we have to take a huge shout out to them for hosting us for this event that we did with the Candid Athletic Trainer guys. If you ever get into the Madison area, they are so worth going and checking out and getting the tour, and they'll be happy to accommodate for you. They really enjoy doing that with athletic trainers. But without any further ado, please enjoy this episode with the Candid Athletic Trainer crew.
To say,
I wouldn't blame them. It's one of those.
It's got to be the worst job in America.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's one of.
And you know they don't pay you enough.
Yeah.
In order to actually do it.
They might make good athletic trainers.
Right.
Maybe.
Multitasking, underpaid, long hours.
Maybe.
Dealing with a bunch of a-holes. I sound way different.
You actually
myself.
sound the exact same.
Really? No.
Yep.
It's weird hearing yourself, isn't it?
Well, no, like this, it's weird. You actually sound different to me in this.
I'm sure I do.
Actually, now you do. When you first put it on, it sounded different. Maybe it was just how close. I don't know.
Like this?
The sweet
I was
spot.
talking like that.
Yeah.
Honestly, I feel like
you
I'm a
guys say
coach.
anything today?
Yeah.
Okay, just making sure.
Yeah, you don't ever talk. Like, I try and cue you up for questions, and you just sit there, and it's
Hey,
just like,
I mean,
well,
you were
Fire department one I did.
that you did run that one.
Yeah.
Cody Tesh.
Yep.
That was a good one.
When did you do that?
We just put it out last week.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, we were
did
listening
couple
to it
week-
on the way out here.
Yeah, we did it a couple weeks ago,
Okay.
maybe. Yeah, we turn over pretty quickly just because, like I said, we don't really have a stash. So I think we're going to actually record one off of this on our way home.
Oh,
Just
really?
on the ride home, we'll just set it in the middle of the car and get another episode out of it.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Candid Athletic Training on the road.
The drive edition.
That would be a good. That might have, like, you would have heard a lot of Marvel talk today.
Yeah, we talked a lot of Marvel.
There you go.
I liked Captain Marvel, and yeah, I think you're wrong.
I didn't dislike it. I just liked her more in Endgame than I did in her own movie.
Yeah, whatever. How much does this thing pick up if I move it all the time?
Not a ton unless you like
Hit something?
hit something.
Okay.
Like even
Like,
I've
yeah.
thought like if you like breathe heavy
Yeah.
into it, like you can hear it, but it doesn't really come through on the end audio.
Okay.
It's like subtle enough that there's not that much.
Alright.
You're going to have to really work for it this week.
Yeah. Self-conscious.
Just want to make sure I'm off here. Okay. I'm in no service anyways. We're good.
You're right. Yeah, in the bowels of Mueller Sports Medicine.
the bowels.
So nobody can steal the secrets.
There you
In the
go.
middle of Prairie du Sac.
Right.
Do you come out here for a lot of episodes?
We've been out here once before.
Yeah.
This is the second trip out here. Come out here not on the regular. I've been fortunate enough, like I got to know some of their international people, so I've done a few trips with them.
Cool.
To teach overseas, which has been fun. And then, like I said, for the WIAC, we've come down here the last 3 years and kind of just had like a head athletic trainers, and then it's expanded meeting just to have a better conversation in person. Nice. And not have the commissioner on the phone derailing like actually productive talk. So
right.
That's been good. And so, yeah, we're down here a few times, gotten to know them pretty well.
Cool.
And we always serve as test dummies for Richard Davis, who's their kind of main product guy. We'll say, hey, can you have some athletes try these and give us feedback? And say, absolutely, send it up.
Yeah.
So
samples?
Sure.
Samples? Fully stacked wall here.
Division 3 AT center budget, just crushing it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep. Good
all
times.
The Mueller you can handle.
Yep.
Yeah, how did you get into bed with them? Is it because Andrea went to school there, or did you reach out to them, or
podcast wise?
Yeah.
Honestly, so we had gotten to know him for a while, because Mark Gibson who's our program director, has known Kurt Mueller forever.
Sure.
So really, it all started at NATA, I think in St. Louis, because we were just going to kind of run like this kind of pitch for UWL past them, and then I just got started into talking to the different people, met Andrea, the UWL connection there, and so that was several years ago, and just kind of stayed in touch and done different things with them. And then we decided we wanted to start this up, and honestly our subtle hope was that maybe we get a few episodes in, or get on a roll, and then maybe reach out. And honestly, they happened to be coming up for a photo shoot for their products, and we had put out our first episode or two and just tagged them in it, and one of their media guys is we want in on this, because they looked at it from our end as they will potentially come back and take clips or whatever to highlight athletic trainers for their own stuff, which we said it's all whatever you want, we'll just send it to you. Mm-hmm. And so then they don't have to do their own podcast for the content wise, but they could still come back and get highlighting the profession, which is ultimately what our point was, is just to give people a chance to tell their story,
right?
That may or may not ever be recognized just because they don't want it, or you're working at the fire department in Milwaukee and people aren't always going to come talk to you,
right?
So that's kind of our main focus.
Very cool.
Makes sense.
So it just kind of worked.
Nice.
Good timing.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, we were joking when we kind of started. I tried to search, and I'm pretty sure the sports medicine broadcast was the only AT podcast out there, and then all at the same time.
4 of them.
You guys popped up. We did. Polos and khakis came around.
Mm-hmm. So when was your first episode? January?
I'd have to go back and look. I don't remember off the top of my head. Probably something like that.
Yeah.
I think actually Polos and khaki was January. Our first, we didn't do anything until March 1st. We put out 4. Mm-hmm. We recorded 4, put 4 up March 1st. Yeah.
In February. Well, yeah, we recorded over the course of a week, maybe 2 weeks.
Yeah.
The first one took 5 hours to do. It was crazy.
Yeah, just learning how to edit and all that stuff.
Yep.
That one took a while. And we took the first episode, we redid it 3 times.
Okay.
Yeah. After about the second or third one, we fell into a kind of a groove of we figured out how we were going to do it.
Right, you kind of had your template and your layout. No, for sure.
I guess maybe that can be part of this show if you want to. If we're gonna.
Honestly, I kind of feel like we were already starting with it, so I was just gonna let it run since we were already talking about it. We can throw a little intro on later.
Oh, so you are recording?
Oh yeah.
I was gonna say you should have been recording.
Yeah, I missed all the air traffic signals, so sorry everybody that you're gonna miss that putting on the headset. But I know. Just to kind of bring this back around, we're down at Mueller Sports Medicine. Kind of a dual podcast here. We're with the Candid Athletic Training guys out of Milwaukee, and I don't know. We'll see how this hybrid goes. We got a few questions. We were trying to get more of the background.
For sure.
We were going to maybe do some Wisconsin-themed stuff out of this.
Why
and
not?
Then we'll follow up at the end with our kind of traditional questions. So
love it.
Ultimately, that you guys want to just introduce yourselves, who you are, what you do.
Yeah, go ahead, sir.
I'm Kevin. So my name is Kevin Creighton, and I am one of the podcasters for Candid Athletic Training from Milwaukee. Went to UW Milwaukee. Gosh, grew up in Milwaukee my whole life. Still there. Let's see here. Background is professional baseball for the most part. And then now I have recently gone into kind of private clinic. Orthopedic wellness clinic. It's all it's non-insurance based.
Oh, nice.
Which is actually a wonderful thing for me. And then just trying to podcast. Having a life, having fun with it.
Yeah.
So.
And my name's Chad Henneberry. I'm the other half of the duo here. Also a Milwaukee grad. That's how Kevin and I got to know each other. He was actually my first student. Austin was my latest student over here.
Full circle.
Kevin was my first one.
Everybody loves their first.
Yeah, you always remember your first, I guess. I finished up in 2007 at Milwaukee and just happened to be lucky enough to be offered a position at the University of Milwaukee and have been there ever since. So 12 years at the Division I level. Mostly baseball, women's soccer, more recently some track and cross country. I think I've basically covered just about every sport they have there at least.
Fair enough.
Off and on. Yeah, so 12 years there and just going strong.
There you go.
And 10 months of podcasting.
10 months of this. 10 months of the fun.
Yeah, right? Yeah.
So as we were just kind of talking about, like, all of these podcasts, kind of not, I say all of these, like it's 40 of them. It's not too many of them. What sparked you guys wanting to do this and kind of hence the name? And
yeah. We wanted to do this, something like this for a while. I think it really started when Kevin was knee-deep in professional baseball. He'd be gone 6 months of the year, and being a close personal friend, we would always just catch up, be like, hey, what are you doing for this? I got this injury. What are you doing? Okay, you're doing the same thing. Great. Oh, hey. And we would like run into videos or other, opinions, and we'd run them by each other, and then we'd just get to talk and shop.
Yeah.
Like almost like a barber talk shop. Just like, hey, what are your thoughts on this, that, the other? And we've always really seen eye to eye on a lot of things. We came across some other physical therapy YouTube accounts and stuff that the Move You guys.
Okay.
I don't know if you've seen any of the Move You guys.
I haven't delved into that one.
Yeah, I've seen some.
I'm sure you have.
They're real brash. They'll be like, hey, this is what you need to do. Stop doing this. You're just going to make it worse.
Yeah.
And we were always like, why don't we do something like that? But just athletic training related, not necessarily on the physical therapy side. So we talked about it maybe 3 or 4 years ago even, and we just never did. And then when he got out of professional baseball, it was like it opened up like a chance for us to kind of sit down more regularly and do it.
Yeah, I mean, maybe I remember. Oh God, when did I live with you?
The first time or the second time?
Yeah, the first time I lived with you, it was like 2013. Like 2013 and 14, I kind of lived with you.
Yeah.
And then, I would come home from work, or he would come home from work, or whatever, and we would have some conversation about athletic training, or I would be complaining about something, or he would be complaining about something, and he would always look at me and be like, God, why don't we record this? Like, what? Like, I know other people are having this conversation, and they want to, I don't know, partake in the misery that is athletic training every once in a while, right? And then to laugh about it so that we can get it off our chests and
move
enjoy,
on.
right? Yeah. And we've all had those conversations in the training room, right?
Right.
Athletic training room. Sorry, everybody. And it's like, then I get out of baseball because I want a resemblance of a regular life. And it probably was, God, when I told him that I was leaving baseball, I probably sent him a text while I was sitting in a dugout. Yep, this is my last year. And probably 30 seconds later, I got a text saying, well, when do we start the podcast?
Yeah.
So it was, and then he was the one that really, we talked about it kind of all winter. And then randomly he just was like, hey, I bought a microphone. And he had it set up in the kitchen. And I don't know, we just kind of were messing around with it.
Yeah. And then I bought another one. I said, all right, it's go time.
Yeah.
Because otherwise and it was really funny because last fall I would listen to a few other podcasts. I had never really done any listening. I never was in the podcast world at all.
For sure.
Up until like a year or so ago, I started listening to a fantasy football podcast.
Okay.
Honestly, and then just the way they interacted, and then they have a spin-off podcast that I really enjoyed. And that's when the idea for this, I guess I wouldn't call them skits, but we do segments. We do. Anybody that's listened to our show know we're a little bit different than most sports medicine podcasts. And we didn't want to do the same thing that everybody else was doing because they're going to do it way better than Kevin and I. That's not how we are. This is how we are. We're just two goofballs who like to have fun, and so we wanted to go the other route. We didn't want to have. We joke around a lot about we're not an evidence-based podcast. You know, we're not getting any CEUs listening to us.
Right.
We're here. We're trying to like make your work week a little bit better.
Yeah.
You know, you listen to us for an hour, you're gonna giggle, you're gonna laugh, you're gonna be like, oh man, something that you can relate to is gonna come up in an episode of one of our shows. So we came up with these like segments, and and that's just kind of where we went with it because we wanted to be different.
Yeah. And I mean, not to mention the way Chad's brain works. It works
infrequently.
Well, so
stop laughing, Austin. You know it's true.
And Austin's been with him a lot. I'm sure knows that there's not many people that can beat Chad to a "that's what she said."
That's true.
And then not only that, but I can't tell you how many times he would ask me whether it was like, "Give me your Mount Rushmore of this," or "All right, you got to F, marry, kill this." And it's just, I mean, most of what we did, it's all coming out of Chad's brain, and that like, because it's just goofy, right? And it's like, it's conversations that you want to have with your other athletic trainers to just break the monotony of like, I got to figure out why this knee is not getting better, right? I just rather laugh. So what are you going to F, right?
Yeah. I think what we hear about our show, that's probably the most rewarding, is just how relatable we are.
For sure.
People will listen and be like, we pull out the most random things, scenarios, or we talked about spray bottles for 10 or 15 minutes a couple weeks ago, whether you should have it on the mist setting or the stream setting. And people,
has a no shameless plug, but they've got some really nice heavy duty ones that we come across.
So it was like, and then people wanted to talk about it on our social media for a while.
Well, I think that's the thing that you guys do so well is the interaction you guys get on Twitter, and just the questions you ask and the amount of response that you get to it. And we're amazed by it. Yeah, which is fantastic.
And that's what keeps us going and motivated to do it. That's kind of, we did it originally because we're just friends and we wanted to make each other laugh. But as we've gone along, it's like listening and hearing what other people have to say about it is just as fun, and it's just
definitely
it's interesting to hear what somebody from Texas or New York or California or North Dakota, whomever, wherever you're from, how we all go about our day, and what's important to us is all the same.
Yes.
So we just kind of bring it to light and have fun with it.
I think the profession could probably use some of that, because if you follow any of the other kind of main athletic training Twitter accounts, it just seems like it's a lightning rod to try and fire somebody up, and
they're anonymous for a reason.
Right, and then and they choose to remain that way, which is whatever it is, but it sparks some good conversation. But it's nice to, like, I guess you guys even like bringing kind of the profession together over something that everybody can at least get a kick out of. Yeah,
there's a fine line between advocating and then just trying to stir things up.
Right.
Yes. And we're just trying to stay positive and fun with it.
For sure.
Because we know it's not perfect, but no job is. Whether any job you're going to have is going to have your pros and your cons.
Oh, for sure.
We'll bring some stuff up that maybe we get frustrated by, whatever, but we're still going to, at the end of the day, say, hey, this is great, this is what we do, here's how you deal with it.
Right.
Whatever.
Well, and I think, athletic training burnout's a real thing.
Oh, right? Definitely. Yep.
It's always going to be a topic, and this also became a little bit of what we did in order to not burn out.
Therapy.
Right?
It's our own therapy.
I mean, yeah.
There you go.
And I never thought it was going to be stick a microphone in front of my face and then go from there. I mean, at the beginning, I was very much, God, I thought it was going to be, because he would talk about it at UW Milwaukee. And so his athletes were always like, when are you going to leave room? When's it going to come out? When's it going to come out? And then all the other athletic trainers, when's it going to come out? When's it going to come out? And I'm like, okay, we're going to do this podcast, and there's going to be 30 athletes from UW Milwaukee and eight athletic trainers from UW Milwaukee that listen to this podcast. And we're going to have fun with it. We're going to do it for a while. And it took off. Like, it still is crazy to me to look at, you know, where somebody listened to us.
Oh, for sure.
And that, like, there are people tweeting at us from Virginia or something and saying, oh God, thank you for making my drive home better, or thank you for keeping me sane before I went to go do the BLC. And we're just like, oh my God, like
we listened to you. We listened to you before taking our certification exam. Oh my God, that's how.
Purely for relaxation purposes, not for informational content. Everybody.
I hope not.
No, but at the same point, Kevin, you don't get to be in professional baseball if you're no good at your job.
No, you're just in the right spot at the right time.
Stop it. You're one of the smartest guys I know. We like to poke fun at ourselves,
sure,
because we have to.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I think we know our stuff, which is I think people get. I don't know. It's just weird. I don't know. So.
Yeah. We're not bad athletic trainers.
Like, no, so you can listen to us and then go, we're not completely off the reservation here.
So the rehab hacks episode is all good. I did enjoy that one.
Yeah. There will be another one. Yeah. Definitely another rehab hacks.
Yeah.
We got to get some knowledge out there, not just rants of.
Well, I mean, we are pretty opinionated. We have strong opinions. If you've listened to, our show, you'll know that we're on the which side of the ice debate we're on. We're not going to try and lead anybody and tell anyone what to do, but we have strong opinions on ice and unstable surface training and stuff like that. I mean, we are opinionated, but we're not trying to force our opinions down anyone's throat. So.
No, just trying to laugh about it.
Yeah.
See where it goes. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember when you told me about some of those, what you called soapbox things that you had. Long talk on unstable surfaces.
Oh, gosh, yeah. I try not to.
You convinced me.
Oh, well, that's good. One
there
person.
You go.
I taught you more what not to do than probably what to do.
I don't know that I've helped him any more than that.
He certainly says a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's not become more talkative since being back in lacrosse.
Try, man.
Austin, we're not on video right now. You're going to have to say more things.
How about those Patriots? You're a Patriots guy.
I am.
Are you okay with how it's going this year?
It's Patriot way.
Just wait until January?
Yep. Don't check in until playoff time.
Okay.
Just enough to get in the playoff.
Yep. You believe that's still happening.
We'll see.
we believe in Tom.
We will see.
Patriots.
So we were joking about this earlier, but if there is any more truth to it, so the logo.
Yeah.
How'd it come?
I was just messing around looking for something fun.
Okay.
I think because when we listen to other sports medicine podcasts or other athletic training related things, everything seemed real serious. Which
informational. That's what they were going for.
Yeah. And that's great. We wanted to be the opposite.
Yep.
So we wanted our logo to match. So we just came up with something maybe a little cartoonish and a little silly and a little it's just us.
Yeah.
So we wanted something that just kind of fit what our show was going to be about.
And I mean, you showed it to me, and I remember thinking that's perfect. Because one, it's a thumbs up. Like, sometimes there's nothing more goofy than a thumbs up.
It
right?
can be so applicable because you could actually be encouraging with it,
yeah,
or you could be
exactly.
completely sarcastic.
That's exactly what it was.
Exactly.
Yeah, it covers the whole spectrum.
That's exactly where my brain went with it. And then the fact that there was tape around this thumb, and there was like a little piece like hanging off.
Yeah,
and I'm
just
like,
enough.
When would I have ever like taped a thumb like this? That's perfect. This is absolutely perfect for a Candid Athletic Training. And then I don't remember. Did we come up with a name or the logo first? I can't remember.
Oh, we debated several names.
We had a lot of names.
It took us a while to really lock in on Candid. But it was the most descriptive word. Candid really kind of sealed it. And I don't even remember the other ones we talked about at this point. It was so long ago.
Totally
but
out of sight, out of mind now.
Yeah, we went back and forth on names for a long time.
Okay.
And then there was just I remember walking around in your living room, and we were like, maybe this, maybe that, maybe this. And then one of us said, like, we just, like, I want to be, like, candid. And they were like, oh, Candid Athletic Training. And then it was kind of funny because it was CAT, like Certified Athletic Trainer.
Okay.
So we got a little like, oh, that could be fun.
Yeah, we haven't gone with the acronym.
We haven't gone anywhere with that. But
the CAT guys.
Yeah, and then little things kept falling in place. Like, so then we searched Candid Athletic Training. Is there anything out there that is Candid Athletic Training?
Right.
From websites to
social media,
and there was nothing like it. And then there weren't that many, even other Candid like podcasts out there that were called Candid. There's a few, but like there weren't enough to get like, I guess. Too many cooks out there, right? That like you get lost in like this world of when you type in, whatever, and there's 400 different podcasts that pop up. That didn't happen with us.
SEO optimization or whatever.
Yeah,
search engine optimization.
There you go.
Oh, I actually sounded somewhat smart there.
Yeah, you did. So that helped, right, to like kind of solidify it. But at the same time, it's just that moment. One of us said Candid, and we're like, that's exactly what we want to be. So, yeah.
What about you? How did the name and all of your stuff come about?
So when we talked about doing it, we wanted to do something like athletic training specific, and then it was like, well, what do you call it? Like athletic training podcast? And so then I don't even remember if it was just.
I don't know. I think we just got
dumb luck or something.
Yeah, and then we got the whole ATC.
Yeah, the athletic training chat to go off of ATC because they were actually asking us earlier with the logo. Like I had mimicked it off of the like NATA,
right?
Like block lettering, so like the A and the T looked the same, and then we just drew in the C, and then we submitted it up to cheap freelancing website, and they threw out a couple other options, and we actually liked this one better, so we switched the logo with it, and that's how we ended up there. But we had purposely framed ours to be more of like, we just want to talk to people that have a story to tell. And you may never be in an NATA news, you may never publish an article, like none of that, but you just do something that's unique and you've got a good story and a good opinion. Let's hear it.
Which is the cool thing about the profession, is everybody does have that story.
Right. And that was kind of more like, we could care less if we ever. Like, it'd be great to interview the NATA president. That's not our goal, is to, like, subtly work our way through to get up to...
We talked about that. He'd probably be scared to come on our show. That's some of the questions we ask. Oh, boy.
But that was never the purpose. Like, if it gets there, great, but it'd be even more just, like... old classmates, and they recommend somebody, or like, hey, you should really talk to this person, and then we just subtly, just reach out and say, what do you want to talk about? Like, and then we'll come up with some questions, and just... you go and we'll listen, and so that's kind of where we ended up, and we'll see where that.
Who's been your favorite interview so far? So see, this is our kind of show right now. Now we're taking we're just gonna blow you up a little here.
That's tough. I really did enjoy Cody's from working with the fire department. I even have to remember all of them. He's a buddy of mine that is the track and field AT at Arkansas, and when it comes to track and field, he is probably the smartest guy I know when it comes to that. Cool. So I just always like listening to him, because he'll say something and be like, well, I got to go figure out what that is now. So that's usually, I think those two are up there.
Yeah. I don't know. I think I'm big fan of the one with Cody. a little biased from that one.
Yeah,
sure. But the one we did before that with Jen from Oklahoma State.
Oh, yeah, Jen Volberding.
Yep.
Very cool.
Program director down there for their MSAT program.
Jen's got a lot of opinions about education and athletic training, where it's going. She's not afraid to tell you what's up.
That's good.
Yeah, it's always been fun to talk to Jen.
I would like to have that conversation.
Yeah, she's a good one.
I could get a soapbox of that.
Yeah,
for sure. Oh,
how would you you interviewed Austin over here for an episode?
Uh-huh.
How'd that go?
Well,
I listened to it. How would you rate his answers here?
Oh, as you can tell from how the length of that episode, I'm sure was in the mid-20 range.
Yep.
And Austin's ability to just talk a room into submission. I thought he did a pretty good job. I was hoping for a little bit more, like grassroots, like give some people some stuff. So we'll do a follow-up when he finishes up at Vanderbilt.
It's really a battle for oxygen when he's in the room.
Right. More of an expressive facial guy.
Oh, yes, that's totally you.
Perfect podcasting.
Yeah. Yep. You're just waiting for TikTok.
Yep.
There you go.
That's all you. I'm not running that thing.
I just learned what TikTok was
I know,
2 days ago.
I swear I heard about that 5 years ago, and now it's just becoming a thing.
It's just Vine reinvented.
Yeah.
Oh, Vine.
Vine. So it's basically just a Vine reinvented.
Interesting.
As far as I know.
I learned about it. I ran across, you're a millennial when, or you're not a millennial when.
Right.
And one of the things was you use TikTok, and I was like, oh, I guess I'm out.
See, I feel like TikTok's moving into the Gen Z, where that's out of the millennial range.
I'm not a TikTok guy, so.
TikTok?
Tic-Tacs.
I am a Tic-Tac guy.
Tic-Tac.
Orange.
Tic-Tacs or
orange?
Mentos.
Nice. There you go.
Oh, okay.
So what's your favorite Gatorade flavor?
Blue.
Oh.
And your favorite Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle?
Donatello.
Oh, it doesn't match.
Man, what the heck is with this guy?
Yeah, all over the board.
Yeah.
They kind of cover the spectrum of colors.
Yep.
Yeah. Roy G. Biv here.
Yep.
Oh my gosh. Here we go. What else you got for us?
Where do you got, so you have your unique style of show, and I'm guessing a laundry list of topics that you could probably end up talking about or coming back around to. Is that ultimately the goal of it, just to keep coming up with unique things? I know you've done who would be the better athletic trainer, and you've gone across different comics and different things
Yeah, we have. So the way our show is set up is we do 3 regular segments every week, and then a feature topic.
Correct.
Yep.
So we do one. We always do a fictional athletic trainer debate. So character A versus character B. Maybe it's a group of characters, whatever it might be. We try and keep it relative. So a movie just comes out.
Whatever's the hottest in pop culture.
On the way out here, we were just talking. The last Star Wars movie is coming out at the end of the month, so we'll probably end up doing something Star Wars related.
Makes sense.
By the end of 2019, we'll get another Star Wars fictional.
So you could have multiple references as it's evolved from each movie.
So we always do that. We do a F, Marry, Kill. We just pick some sort of random athletic training related thing, whether it's products, whether it's experiences, whatever.
Or I think one of the greatest ones was very early, and it probably was one of the biggest tractions we ever had on social media, and it was just coolers, right? You got to F, Marry, Kill a 3-gallon, 7-gallon, and 10-gallon, right? And that's what it does, right? So every athletic trainer has stood in an athletic training room and been like, God, I just don't want to fill a 7-gallon anymore.
Yeah. Everyone's got their opinion on what is, and that's what we're trying to do, is draw out that emotion on some small, stupid little thing.
Yeah.
But that becomes a big deal to us. That the 45,000 athletic trainers around the country, or whatever the number is, everybody has experienced it. So we're just trying to draw that out. And so we do. Yeah,
your grandma would be like, oh, whatever.
Yeah, so we do that.
That sounds good, honey.
We do the F, Marry, Kill segment, and then we do a survey-based, basically like a rip-off of Family Feud.
Yeah.
So we send out a.
No, I like that one.
We send out. Segment. Oh, do you like that one? Is that your favorite?
It's up there just because it's always because you get to play it up as out of just like the Family Feud.
Yeah.
Right.
So we'll ask the question. and we'll get 100 responses. I'll tally them up, and then Kevin just tries to guess what the top 5 answers are going to be. Or sometimes he'll just give you his top 5 for whatever the question it might be.
Sometimes I don't care.
Yeah, and then so we do those 3 every week, and then we'll come up with some random topic as our feature for the last part of the show every week.
Yeah, and I mean, of course we have like a list of topics that we're like, oh, we should, like, before we even recorded episode 1, there's probably still 10 topics that we haven't talked about, but every once in a while it'll literally be like, hey, when do you want to record this week? Thursday's good for me. And then Thursday at 3 o'clock, and we're going to record at 6, he's like, just thought of a topic that we need to do tonight.
Yeah, this came up.
Something came up, in the day-to-day.
Not
and
perfect.
That's because I think that's a lot of athletic training. Athletic training every day is going to be different, but also sometimes it's always the same. Right? I get here at this time, and then I have to prep for this practice, and I have to prep for this game or whatever, and we do these treatments, but then that one thing that changes your day, well, that's what we get talking about.
Yep.
Right?
I'm just looking around this room going, we're going to have to come up with a quick FMK for you, Joel, with some of these products that are on the wall here, all these Mueller Sports Medicine
they got quite the array of stuff.
So we're going to have, Austin, you're going to get one too. Here.
Well, yeah, my vote is Austin. My vote's
okay, Austin, all right. We're going to put him on the spot.
You can start writing down notes, so you got to think about this, work it all the way through.
He's just going to go palms up on something, and we're going to be like, okay, good, yes, all right. And that's Austin. He's undecisive right now.
Well, I know when we were talking through, doing this episode, we were, to do something similar along, like we were going to try and go Wisconsin themed, and this would obviously work for the
It would work.
Mary Kill, but, in your best athletic trainer, I was wondering if we did, Rogers, Giannis, and then I don't follow baseball in the slightest, so somebody's going to have to pick a brewer.
Yelich. Let's go Yelich.
So the MVPs.
The MVPs.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Who would make the best athletic trainer?
I
don't know if you guys have done a Wisconsin theme, but given that we're just bookending
it's birthday week for all three of them.
That's a good one.
The side of the
I did see that.
The side of the states that we're on.
Yep.
Yeah. What? It's their birthday?
All three of them have a birthday this week.
Sometime this week.
That's crazy.
They were all birthed at some point. Gosh, who would? Well. So Rogers is probably, he's got the planning, right? So I mean he's got a game plan a little bit more.
Also good with the audibles.
And then the audible, right? And so he's got his offensive mindset that's going to happen, but then he's got to read the defense and then call an audible.
Precision.
Giannis's
wingspan's really going to help, though.
Really, I mean,
he can tape you from 2 tables over.
Well, and his range is getting better with his 3-pointer, so really he can effectively handle things from a distance now.
Yeah. Yelich? What has Yelich got then?
5 tools.
He's a 5-tool player. So for the non-baseball people out there, he can do everything on a baseball field well.
But is that going to relate?
Oh, could it relate, right? He's fast, he can throw, he can catch, he can hit. I don't know if it's going to relate. He's a baseball player.
He's a baseball player. I think that just
I'm so biased against baseball players sometimes. No offense, anybody. Gosh. Giannis, Yelich is pretty quiet. Mm-hmm. From what I can understand about him, he's not, hey, look at me or anything like that.
Yeah.
He's also not somebody that's like, I'm going to post a funny video.
Right.
Rogers is going to post a funny video if he can.
That's true.
And so will Giannis. Giannis is pretty
has had some good social media stuff.
He is. So I think the personality side, right now I'm leaning towards Giannis.
Okay.
I think he would be a hoot and good time to be around. He'd make you laugh because he's I think he likes laughing at himself a little bit too.
Yep, good sense of humor.
Gosh,
well,
I like the wingspan. His hands are huge. He could do some joint mobs that probably nobody else could do.
He's gonna be the one guy that could get his hands around an offensive line and do a lockman.
Yeah, he's gonna.
and think it's no big deal.
Yeah, like, oh, yeah, a little twig.
Right.
I mean, I'm sure Rogers has pretty big hands too, though. Man, his back's gonna hurt though. Tables are really low for him. He's got to be in a really wide stance when he's doing stuff.
Super high-low table, like it's got to go really high.
Yes, for sure.
Good leverage.
Very good leverage.
Is he going to demonstrate crutch walking? Have regular-sized crutches?
Right. I don't even know if they make crutches that long.
Be like using these bats right here.
Holy cow. I'm going Giannis.
All right.
Are you? I think Giannis is going to... I think personality-wise, I do think he's going to put the athlete at ease.
Okay.
Yes.
The most. I think Rogers is probably a little intimidating. Maybe can put you in the defensive a little bit.
Okay.
But I do think he's really sharp. Oh, gosh. And observant.
Yeah.
Very. I think...
He's got a sense of humor, though, too. I mean...
Oh, my God, he's got a great sense of humor. I just think Yelich is probably a really good athletic trainer. Like
that you don't notice?
But you just don't... Like, you don't really know much about him, right?
Yeah.
And so I think he just kind of goes about his day and...
Comes in, does his thing,
you know,
moves on.
And then 5 years later, all the athletes are like, remember that one guy? He was really good. Because I don't think many people are like, oh, my God, Christian... Like,
it's going to be like...
You didn't even... You were like, I don't know, who should we talk about?
I could have come up with somebody,
It's like talking to Austin.
Yes.
Yelich is going to be just as quiet.
Yeah.
The athletes still ask about you, just so you know.
Ooh.
Youngblood. Where's Youngblood? That was his nickname. Where's Youngblood?
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know how that came, but...
Yeah.
Dang. Spit a rap out for us real quick.
Oh, no one needs to hear that.
So I guess, sorry, I'm going to circle back. I'm going to go with Rogers.
Wait, what were we talking about again?
The trio of MVPs.
Trio of MVPs.
Which one would make the best athletic trainer? I'm going to go Rogers.
Well, then we've just kind of hit the full spectrum.
Yeah. Who do you got?
I think I'd go Rogers. I'm really hoping that the insurance side of all this State Farm stuff would also come into play.
Yeah, he's going to get a discount double check on some of those bills.
If you can rock a Fu Manchu like that, you're definitely going to be okay in the athletic training realm.
Yeah.
I'd go Rogers.
Austin?
I'm going Giannis.
I thought you were going to say Tom Brady.
I was thinking about it.
Perfect time, everybody.
You said who?
Time. I was going Giannis.
Okay. Yeah. So we're split 2-2 here.
Antetokounmpo.
All right, the
like
Greek freak.
He's got a great nickname. Great nickname. It's tough drinking water with these things, isn't it?
Yeah, kind of get it out of the way, move it back.
So when you do your show,
do
you eat or drink anything, or are you just because we're chomping on?
Yeah,
So it depends because a lot of ours are video call in.
Yeah. Oh, so you can't.
So typically not a lot, and because we post videos for all of them because that's how we record it. And they obviously can see you, so you don't want to look like you're not paying attention at all.
See, that's going to be the problem with our shows. We can't give up the Sour Patch Kids.
I almost have to do it video because I am so of my own ADD. Like, if it was just a video call, I would be off, like, putzing on something else just to get something done. But I know with video, I got to stay locked in, which is probably for the best. So then the guest doesn't feel like I'm totally ignoring them. I'll give them the caveat that I am actually taking notes so I don't forget what we talked about. But other than that, so yeah, most of ours are video call just so we can get it all over the country as much as we possibly can, and then we'll try and do more stuff in person whenever we can. It's kind of the plan.
Yep. Yeah, we're gonna take that step eventually.
Yeah, we've talked about what our next steps are and what we want to do with it, and video is right there.
Video and then just like interviews. How do we want to go about doing an interview with another athletic trainer or non-athletic trainer, whoever it happens to be? And
for sure.
Do we want that to be video? Do we want that just to be a call-in? And people can't really. They can tell maybe it sounds different, but what's it going to be like? And I don't know.
We actually recorded our first interview, but
we did it in person.
We did it in person.
Okay.
That episode is getting released
soon.
Tomorrow.
Yeah. What?
Spoiler alert. December 5th.
This won't be out before that.
Yeah. So it'll be out already. So we will have one. Yeah.
You always do that. You always talk about tomorrow and yesterday, but
I always do.
You need to understand that the people don't know what day that is.
Doctor Strange. That's why I said December 5th.
Ooh, there you go. And then that's why Doctor Strange would be on your Marvel Mount Rushmore.
I think he would be.
Jesus. That's what we talked about.
There you go.
Yeah.
Who else was on that Mount Rushmore?
Of Marvel characters?
Yeah.
Who I thought was most powerful? I went with Captain Marvel, Scarlet Witch, and Thor, and Doctor Strange. I think if you put those four together, it's pretty tough to beat.
It would be.
Yeah.
It'd be very tough to beat.
They're not my four favorites, but I think they're the four most powerful.
I agree with that. But now you got like movies like The Eternals coming out.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't know enough about
Now it's getting weird.
Yeah.
You know? Like, holy cow. I thought Doctor Strange was going to be like the end of my, like, what? I don't know anything about this. But now, all the new movies, I'm like, man, I thought I was a comic book nerd. I guess I'm not. Like, 'cause I don't know most of them. Black Widow. Black Widow's coming out, I guess.
Yep.
Next year.
Yes.
I'm excited for that.
Yeah, the origin story.
Yeah.
So
Otherwise, I'm lost.
This is really how our podcast goes. We just end up in the middle of nowhere. It's like getting lost on a...
Trying to backtrack to where you started from.
Yeah, and that's what we have fun doing. You're probably like, what are these guys? We're ADD, ADHD, all of it. Yeah, but no, this is just what we do. We veer off topic and then try and bring it back.
Eventually. I can understand that.
So what do we? Let's give them. Pick 3 products, Kevin, from this wall here.
There's products on this wall? Oh, hey, look at all these products behind me. You know what? I had my eye on this Omniforce elbow support.
Okay.
And then definitely this Easy Fit Kinesio tape. And then that's kind of what's really close. Oh, these cooling towels. Somebody needs to talk about these cooling towels.
All right, so we're going to do an FMK on that?
Sure, why not? If you had to F, marry, and kill these being in your kit, what are you going to do? Austin.
Ooh. Well, off the bat, marrying the cooling towel.
Wow.
That's for me.
That's for you?
Yeah,
just for you.
Just sweating all the time.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, all right. Somebody get Austin a cold towel.
Yep.
All right, give him some water, too. He's sweating profusely right now. Gosh.
Got a little going.
Don't pass out on us.
Try not to.
Maybe it's because you're not letting out the words.
Yeah, it's all just building up in here.
Let them out.
Hot air.
Gosh. You're full of hot air. Get it out of there.
Yeah.
So that leaves you with the Kinesio tape.
And specifically, I want this spider web one.
Yep. And then the elbow sleeve.
elbow sleeve.
Elbow support.
Wait, you're marrying the cold
marrying.
Towel. Okay.
Yep,
marrying.
right off the bat.
Long term, you're going to keep it cold.
Yep.
All right.
Gonna need it during the spring for sure.
Okay.
I think I'll F the Kinesio tape.
You're going to F Kinesio tape.
Yep.
All right.
Can get a bunch of different uses out of that.
All right.
I think I have no use for an elbow sleeve.
So you're going to kill it.
Yeah, just get it out.
All right. You personally don't. So what's next for you?
I'll be down at Vanderbilt doing baseball.
Oh wow!
I heard they're pretty good.
Yeah, I've heard a couple.
Rumor has it. Yeah.
They're runner up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, they won it.
I don't know. I can't.
Yeah, they
definitely won it.
Yeah.
They definitely won it.
Did they really?
Yes.
Yeah.
I thought Michigan won. I thought it was like a total they took it.
No, it went to Michigan won the first game, but
that's
double
right.
elimination.
That's right.
Series.
Yep.
Yeah.
That was when we were in Vegas.
Winner take all. Yeah, that was during the NATA convention.
You're hanging out with good old B Wells.
Brandon Wells, who's down there.
Yep.
Have you met him?
I have talked to him.
You have.
I was put in contact with him. Got to
Milwaukee,
chat with him a little bit.
Another Milwaukee guy.
Yep.
Former coworker of mine. He's down at the U of Vanderbilt.
Mm-hmm.
So he actually just texted me today.
Yeah.
With Pet Peeves 3.0.
That sounds like a segment.
Oh, we just did our featured topic this week was Pet Peeves. Our second time we've done it, so
okay.
People like listening to the Pet Peeves.
Oh,
yeah,
those could be so wide-ranging.
Do you have any? What's your biggest pet peeve?
Oh boy,
of athletes or coworkers or whatever it might be. Just athletic training pet peeves. You got to have something.
I'm trying to think of a specific pet peeve. I'm sure I've got more than I care to. I guess one of the biggest ones is we just do stuff because we think we need to do it, and we haven't thought anything about what the actual point is.
I like it.
So, like, coming back to somewhat, this is just a specific example to kind of the icing thing. Like, we own a few of the Mark Pro machines, and we like them, and we generally know what they're for, but some of our staff doesn't, and they'll go and they'll apply it just like you would any other regular stim pad.
Just throw it on.
Just put it on and not have, the booklet is in the little carrying case with it that tells you exactly what you're supposed to do with it, and that stuff drives me nuts where it's just kind of mindless.
Just have Gary come up and talk to him.
Oh my gosh. We love you, Gary.
We've interviewed that guy a couple times in a couple different takes, and he is a character.
Oh my gosh. Love Gary.
Yeah.
And it was what? It was like a 3.5 hour podcast that time, or?
I don't remember how long it was, but I think we said 3 words.
Oof. I believe that.
Yep, he just went and.
It's like talking to Bill Walton. Just let him go.
Yeah.
I like your pet peeve.
Yeah,
that is one of my biggest ones.
Mindless athletic training, like it is kind of it's one of my biggest pet peeves too.
Yeah,
like,
you talked about that. Yeah.
Like,
yeah, like
at least know why.
Right.
I don't. Even if you like to ice, if you can give me, you're probably not going to win the argument. But if you can give me reasons why you think you should be doing it, then just do it, right? Like, oh my God, yes. Don't just apply a Mark Pro to everything if you don't know why you're doing it.
Yeah, or even look now if you want to come up with some creative things with it, I'm open to the discussion. But so much is a Band-Aid too. I guess that's a big pet peeve.
Sure.
Like, no offense to just throwing stim and heat on something, but if that's literally all we're doing for an entire season,
correct.
Passive modalities,
and we're not actively trying to fix something. Like,
yeah.
Now, if that's all that gets them through, and you've tried everything, and that is ultimately your why, okay, I can get on board with that. But I don't know that we truly try and always get down into kind of the nitty-gritty of what's going on.
If it's like 2 weeks left in someone's senior season, and you just need to get...
There's a time and a place to throw stuff at the wall and see what sticks. I'm all for it. I've gotten there. I'll do it too, but...
Don't make it your whole career.
Literally walk you through why I did that, and that's one of my biggest ones.
Interesting. Chad, I want to know what you would F, marry, and kill out of those 3.
I'm gonna marry.
Okay.
The Kinesio.
Okay.
The Easy Fit Kinesio tape.
Heck yeah, it's easy.
Yep. Mm-hmm. You just slap that right on there and let it do its job.
It's like a wedding ring, right? You just slap that thing on there, you're done.
Yep. Might have to buy 2 of them though.
Yep, you might. You're not supposed to talk about that.
Let's see here. I think I'm gonna kill the elbow sleeve too. I'm gonna agree.
There you go.
So I'm gonna F the cold towels.
Okay.
Like, there's the time and a place for it. There's heat exertion. I mean, the time and the place is definitely in the South and in August, July and August.
Sure. Or every day for Austin.
Yeah.
Or every day for Austin. Yep.
So that's where I'm going.
Nice.
We could have had a draft. Draft your kit.
Draft your kit off this wall.
Honestly, that would be actually fun.
Maybe like a fantasy roster.
That's what we've done. We've done 2 drafts.
Okay.
Do people? I mean, have we said that we're at Mueller right now?
We mentioned it very early in the process. So yes.
I mean, just talk about AT porn.
Yeah, this is AT
this
porn.
This whole place is like
Mueller is the place for that.
Unbelievable.
I think Austin posted a picture earlier. It was AT Heaven in the M Center over there.
That's the difference, Austin.
Yeah.
Porn heaven.
Same thing.
Same thing. It's pretty wild. If anybody gets a chance to come out here and see some stuff,
it's cool.
Bring a really large bag because you're gonna want to bring some stuff home.
Right.
You're gonna need the extra large kit.
I mean, it's like the NATA. Everybody's walking around with that big bag.
That big red bag, yeah.
Trying to get as many free samples as possible.
Free samples.
Yeah.
I know most of this isn't free, but heck, I don't know. I might be stealing some Quench gum at some point.
Oh, trust me, on your way out, they will tell you to help yourself at those things.
Or the Thor tape.
What about you? Are you you gotta pick something on the wall? What I mean,
I could use a new pair of socks.
Those are game changers.
Are they really?
Socks, so I've traveled with them, and the actual, like, from the foot all the way up, like, if you got a long plane ride,
heck yeah,
unreal how much better it makes your legs feel. And then the little short ones are nice too.
Heck yeah.
Although it does make you look like you got fat ankles sometimes if you swell up a little bit.
Nah, it happens. Cankles are real. It's okay. Nobody's judging you.
Yeah.
Fun times.
Had by all.
So what's next for your podcast? Like, what's your long-range goal here?
For us, it's just to continue to interview more people and just keep spreading the word, and hopefully try and pick up more people and kind of, I guess, educate on the profession and just the different aspects that you can do with it. I mean, two of our ones so far have been, one works industrial at Quad Graphics in the state, and obviously Cody with the fire department, and so just something new. Cody said something really unique in that one. When he went to NATA, he had like the emerging settings tag, and somebody...
Here's your emerging setting guy right here.
Somebody went and actually had their emerging and then like put a piece of tape over the ing and put emerged. Like, because they kind of feel like it's already here, like it's no longer like it needs to be looked at as like a true thing. And I thought that was interesting, and ultimately our whole thing was just to help highlight the profession. I've got my own route. I decided to go back to school in a leadership program, and it's been eye-opening in terms of like dealing with coaches and administrators and really more like advocating for the profession. And I could see that kind of getting put into some of this and just thoughts and ideas out there to ultimately just try and help make the profession better and showing people things can be done. Like, you can control your schedule and you're not at the mercy of a coach all the time. Now that takes some effort to get to a place where you've got the support for that, but yeah, we'll see. And then I'll actually get Austin to do some interviews on his own. So he's got his own mic, and he should be reaching out to people. So hopefully when he goes down south,
down in Tennessee, I'll grab some. Get Brandon.
Get Brandon Wells.
Definitely get B Wells on it.
Yeah,
it'll be a great interview, and you won't have to worry about talking that much. He'll take care of it.
So yeah, we'll see. We'd love to take it to like an ATA, not to rival the Dragonfly Max podcast booth, but the setup would be perfect for sitting down there and just again anybody that wants to tell their story or something unique, let's hear it and
love it.
Learn something along the way.
Yeah, I think even Jeremy's been doing that for a couple of years, right?
Yeah.
I mean, somebody should interview him.
Yeah, but I think
he wants other athletic trainers involved. He doesn't.
I think
he's very interested in that.
He asked us to come down and be on his show, but like I know Polos and Khaki did their show down there, and Alicia did her show down there. So I think you should get on that train.
Heck yeah.
Because ultimately, like, this is a very like self-serving thing, and I'm fine with it. Like with starting the other podcast, like the Clinically Pressed. We started that with a PhD in exercise science and kinesiology, a chiropractor, and myself, and we've gotten to talk to people that I don't think I ever would have known about or been able to talk to had we not started that, and just randomly got connected with them. And I mean, I've gone out with a vet for Organic Valley, and we've literally gone out to the farm, and he's like giving us the whole rundown of how they take care of their animals. Like, when else am I going to get to do something like that? Or we've done a couple different things, and so honestly, it's just another easy way to learn something, which I'll always take.
Yeah.
Love it.
We just keep learning what not to say.
I just keep trying to push buttons.
Nothing wrong with that.
Go a little further and further.
Yeah. You really want to change. You want to do an after hours show.
Oh, it'd be great.
So, total side note on that, we'd love to do this too. So we also, because I'm a glutton for punishment, we've only put out 3 episodes in like a year and a half. We have a Barbells and Bourbon podcast.
Yeah,
with the logo on that. Totally meant to be like the raw and uncut. Like you got something to say. Like let's just go and
love it.
So maybe we'll have to finagle one of those at a WADA event or something like that.
For sure.
So the guy I do that with, we actually review what we're drinking before we start the episode, and then we just go.
Okay.
And it's
Good
just
for you.
Whatever. So that was just a reason to stay in touch with a buddy.
I love it. Is he an athletic trainer?
No, he's doing his PhD down at Illinois.
Oh, smart guy.
He was a world junior super heavyweight powerlifting champion, like 2-time world champion.
Jeez.
All right.
And ridiculously smart and savvy, and he's an impressive individual. Wow. So it's a good reason to stay in touch with him.
And now he's got bourbon.
And he likes to drink himself some bourbon, and that works for me.
Yep.
So
you're a bourbon guy?
I haven't met many of them I don't like. So
there you go.
Anything in that realm.
When you were talking Wisconsin themed things, I thought you were going to go Wisconsin beers.
Ooh, that would have been a good one.
Yeah. Kevin's the connoisseur there.
It would have been a tough choice.
It'd be hard to pick just 3.
Right now, it would for sure.
Yeah.
25 years ago, it would have been hard to find more than one.
That is true. That is true.
Like it. And we'll do that one day. Maybe I'll taste test on the podcast. And then that'll lead me to my F, Marry, Kill.
It doesn't have to be a bourbon either. We have done people where they just drink beer during the bar.
Gotcha.
So it's whatever your taste du jour, because we know some people, bourbon's just not there.
I'll give you the rundown on the...
I don't discriminate against many alcohols. So,
I would agree with you there.
You know what? Everybody keeps walking past us in this lovely space and just smiling, taking pictures.
Should get their opinions.
Yeah, they got some demonstrations going on there with some people that they're working with, and so the president's been walking by.
Oh, wow.
The CEO's been walking by.
Oh, wow.
The CEO, I would love to see if you could pick him out, unless you've seen him before, because you probably wouldn't be like,
no,
that's the guy.
No. Come on over here. Let's get you on the podcast.
We're going to ask him some off-brand questions.
Yeah. F, Marry, Kill some Kramer products.
And a word around here, yep.
Right? I think that C word just got bleeped from the podcast.
Right.
Fun times.
Had by all.
Man, look at all the stuff they got.
Oh, you get to just like tour through like the pictures and the different people they've had. Like they've kind of been all over the place.
I loved like the cheesy like 80s picture, like person on the table, and then like they got every product.
Yeah.
Just a smiling idiot in a box. Yeah.
With your air traffic control headset on.
Well.
We looking for it.
Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats. We are about to take off. Sir, sit down. Oh my God.
Well, anything else you guys want to cover, or else we can hit the 5 questions that we always ask.
Oh yeah, we forgot. There's more. Wait, there's more.
All right, there's more questions.
Okay, let's do the 5 questions.
Yeah,
this will be fun.
Because those 5 questions might turn into an hour and a half. So who knows?
The first one is, where do you see the athletic training as a profession going in the next 5 to 10 years?
Go ahead.
You want me to answer this?
Yeah.
Okay. In the next 5 to 10 years. So my fear is that the athletic training profession is going to, in the next 5 to 10 years, become more and more clinical and maybe less about your hands-on experience of what you got as a young athletic trainer. I think there's going to be a lot of young certified athletic trainers that come out that aren't going to necessarily be as prepared to be thrown to the wolves a little bit.
Gotcha.
And so I think that's going to create a lot of, which I guess I'll be one of those people eventually, but like an older athletic trainer that's very frustrated with new young athletic trainers.
Like the rules are almost getting too strict in what they can and can't do as a student, or it's just becoming more classroom? It's becoming more classroom.
Okay. Is my number one fear, I guess. And that, I don't know. I mean, my experience was that I got to interact with the athletes. And I mean, week 1 I was stretching an athlete's hamstring because I learned how to do it in class earlier that day, right? And I think we're going further and further away from that, and I don't want anybody that is in the academic world to lose sight of that, right? And so my greatest fear is that we're just going to try to keep up with the PT community and keep up with the chiro community and keep up with every other community that tries to take care of people, and we're going to become lost from, you know what, we're actually really good at taping ankles, like, and there's nothing wrong with that. We're actually really good at just handling a lot of things that when the mass chaos happens in an athletic training room, and we don't get that way by doing more research about when your glute med is activated. Like I love that people are doing that, but people have always done it. There's always been research based, and I don't think that we should be necessarily, force is the wrong word, but creating an academic environment where that's the most important thing. I think either have options. I decided to go to this graduate school because there's more research. Or I went to this graduate school because I could do a GA and I could get my hands dirty. Or I went to this grad school because, you know what, that was the only one I could get in. Right? But I guess that's where right now that I've stepped out of the traditional athletic training room, it makes me fearful that we keep, I don't want to say the BLC is easier, but the BLC keeps changing, right? The actual certification exam. It's changed every couple years, and I don't see why we really had to take away, like, all right, you're standing in a room, tape my ankle. All right, you're standing in a room, fit me for a helmet. Like, I get maybe, I don't know, we needed to make it a little more streamlined. We needed to catch up with the times of, you're not going to highlight paper, right? And that's going to, you just killed your patient. But I think we need, as athletic trainers, we're trained to do emergency care. We're trained to handle situations that are tough. And I don't know if we're getting that experience anymore as athletic training students.
Yeah, I was wondering, we were actually just talking about this yesterday, I think, and you know how the BOC, like, I didn't take it when there was a practical. Mine was all, and there was a little scenario-based thing, like you said, where you know, like, you're obviously not trying to kill your patient, but in theory, shouldn't your clinical be prepping you so you don't need to do the practical, like, you're not, you know, in case you under that pressure mess something, like, in theory, but like, and we've talked about that, like, my experience at a Division I school as a student is so different than the experience that the students I work with now get at UW La Crosse, because we need them to do the stuff they do, and so they come out so much more versed in that. Like, I would never have, like, been able to deal with somebody that got hurt at a football practice in undergrad. I try and tell all our students now, like, practice is your time to shine. Like, I'm going to be there, but, like, if somebody goes down, like, you should be there before me. During a game, different story. But you don't always get that at a Division I unless, you know, you've got a preceptor that's going to allow you to do those things. So, but yes, that's... Or
even if you have students. Like, I mean, some schools are now, especially your smaller schools, that, or even your big Division I schools, like, they're not, you don't have athletic training students that are with you every day. I mean, it was a very, like, when I went through it, Chad went through it too, but, like, learning how to be a full-time student, be in the training room for 20 hours a week, which ended up as a normal athletic trainer, like, becomes 30, becomes 40, and then also have a part-time job or a full-time job like Chad did. I mean, that was life. That was teaching you how to be really good at life. And I don't want that to be, I don't want that to go away. I think there was a pride in, like, I can do this. And I learned a lot from doing it. And guess what? I only have my bachelor's, and I was pretty good at it. Like, I don't want there to be a sense of athletic trainers are just following the next in line of, okay, now the PT world's going to DPT, and because they're trying to keep up with the doctors, and now we want to prescribe medicine and call x-rays because we can. It's like, well, yeah, so could I.
Right.
I think you broke your ankle. You need to go get an x-ray. But there's just an order to the world, right? And that's okay. It's totally okay.
It's funny because you answered the question. I mean, that's the good thing is you hear a question and think about it way different terms than I do. Yeah, he asked me the question, where do I see the profession in 5 to 10 years? And I went to the supply demand of how many athletic trainers there are. You know, I think the number one thing right now in the profession is advocating for we need more. We need more athletic trainers out there. You know, X percent of schools don't have athletic trainers and coverage, and how do we get more coverage? I'm hopeful in 5 to 10 years that number is 0.
Right.
You know, and we need more students, we need more athletic trainers because we have more things that need to be covered. That being said, it's actually interesting because the other thing we're always talking about is how underpaid we always are.
Absolutely.
So supply and demand says if there's more of something that the price usually goes down. Does that mean we're going to get paid less?
Right.
Well, it's an interesting thought process, you know. In 10 years from now, I think there's going to be a lot more athletic trainers, and I don't think we're going to get paid less. But I just think in 10 years from now, you're going to see a lot more awareness of how important our job is, and so I'm pretty hopeful that it's going to improve everything.
I would agree.
I do see our profession going. I mean, there are way too many people that are putting all of their time and effort into promoting the profession, right? I think more than ever people understand you're watching the football game on the weekend and these 3 people run out of the field because the quarterback went down, and well, that's one of them's probably the athletic trainer, right? I think it's becoming a little bit more of a household term, but it's not quite there yet.
Yeah, I agree.
But I mean, even as Chad was talking, like, it created like a little anxiety, like, okay, we need more athletic trainers, but every athletic trainer is now going to have their master's degree, and you have to be paid a certain amount of money now, and it creates this like, well, now they can't afford to have an athletic trainer, so now there's less job. Like, small town school in Lodi, Wisconsin, or Prairie du Sac, Wisconsin, can they afford to have an athletic trainer?
Right.
I mean, and maybe they can, but are they gonna?
Can they afford not to though? That's the. I mean, it always comes down to proving value.
For sure.
And hopefully, 10 years from now, we're not having to prove our value because we've already done it.
Yes.
Well said.
Yes.
Thank you. It's the first time I've ever said anything that smart.
It was well done.
All right, going on to our next question. Going back in time a little here.
Going back in time?
Yep.
Dr. Strange?
Back in time.
Coming right out of school, newly certified athletic trainer. You can go back, give yourself a piece of advice. What are you telling yourself?
100%. Stop worrying about modalities.
I like it.
I mean, I spent the first 4 to 6 years of my career worrying about STEM and whatever, because at the time we were just in a modality-driven profession. It was once I figured out that those things are just Band-Aids, and not fixing the problem. You're just kind of masking it. You know, in order to fix the problem, you have to get the people moving better. Then my career changed.
Right. Absolutely.
Solid advice.
Oh God. How old was
we covered this in our show.
Yeah, I'm trying to make sure I don't either repeat or say the opposite. Maybe. Little known fact: I sometimes black out. I don't remember what I said on the show. But I have to go off of what Chad said, because number one, don't rely on a modality to heal your athlete.
Yep.
It's not, no matter what. They have to heal themselves. So know that it's not your job also to heal your athlete. But you're there to help, one, speed up the process, or to guide them in the right way to heal. And so, that being said, don't get all worked up about somebody's got some, patellofemoral stuff, right? And then, so now I know that I got to do X, Y, and Z. And those are step downs and step ups and terminal knee extensions. So make sure that VMO is firing. Well, you know what? Let's break it down a little further. And can they even properly squat?
Right.
Do they even, when you say, hey, make sure your core's engaged, do they even know what that means?
Right.
Do I even know what that means? Right. And so I think that would be my number one is worry less about you're causing them to heal. Know that they're doing the job. You're just trying to speed it along. But know that if you don't take care of those fundamental movement problems, you're going to circle back to this problem all over again. And it might mask to, or it might go to hip pain, it might be knee pain, it might be shoulder pain.
Right.
But go to the fundamentals again. You don't know everything.
Right. No, ain't that
Idiot.
the truth? What has been one of the most influential resources that you found in your career?
Dave Yeager. No. You guys, you don't even know who that is, but he was a coworker of mine, and he worked with me in baseball, and absolutely was my greatest resource, I think, as a younger athletic trainer. But yeah, that's serious, but it's also a joke, just because I give Dave all the credit in the world that, he made me a better athletic trainer. God, what was the question?
Resource.
I don't know,
and
go.
That could
What's
be,
yours?
we've had a lot of people say, it's the preceptors or it's the people.
I'll spin it off of this. My greatest resource was that changed me to be a better athletic trainer were the athletic trainers around me. And it wasn't necessarily that I learned from them. It was that we were open to having the conversations about things.
Right.
That all of a sudden it was like, okay, that's how I was thinking. Like, I feel a little better about myself.
Right.
And then when I would bring something up, it wasn't so the athletic trainers I worked with early in my career were much older than me. And they never looked at me like, Kevin, you're an idiot. They might have said it sometimes, but it was always like, I get where you're going with that, but this is where we need to go. I was very lucky to work in a situation that it allowed me to grow in my profession, where I wasn't just always the low guy in the totem pole. And so I think it gave me the confidence to figure out the type of athletic trainer that I really want to be, or that I am, which just kept making me a better athletic trainer. I don't know. That makes sense? That made sense, right?
Yeah.
Everything you say makes sense.
Yeah,
There you
sure,
go.
right.
What did you say?
I don't know. I'm not even drinking alcohol.
For me, I think I've had. Can I cheat? Can I give you two? Does it have to be one?
No,
I gave
no
6.
rules.
The resources I thought that were most influential for me, as generic as this is going to sound, just the CEU opportunities out there.
Okay.
I think my favorite thing about this job is continuing to learn new things, like picking up whether it's a free CEU on the NATA website, or like for us, we took a course called neurokinetic therapy. Like, that resource changed my whole perspective on how to do medicine, and how to help people. Those kind of situations, and it was because I challenged myself to be smarter, because I know I'm not.
Right.
I'm not a smart guy. I always want to know how to get better. So the resource, when I think of the word resource, I think of continuing education as a resource. So I think that's one, is the continuing wanting to learn more. And the other is when I got out of school, I got hired by my friend and mentor, John Oxenwald, who was a great... he just allowed me to... He put me in a situation where he didn't micromanage every single thing I did. And that would, for me, the style was perfect. If I had a boss who was constantly looking over my shoulder telling me I'm doing things wrong, it's not going to allow me to grow. He just said, this is your sport. You take care of them however you want to take care of them. And if I had an issue, I could bring it up and ask a question, because he had 25, 30, 35 years of experience. Right. But he was never standing over my shoulder saying, hey, what are you doing? So that was a huge resource for me. Just having somebody that wasn't going to micromanage. And it allowed me to kind of learn a lot through failing, to be honest.
And I think there's, going kind of back to the NKT thing, don't be afraid to go off a little bit of the beaten path. Legitimately, I would, even like a young athletic training student, don't go take a Graston course. You're going to be able to learn it, right? And sorry, Graston, but not everybody has to do that. Right? Don't do it just because it's you think that's what you have to have on the resume. And unfortunately, maybe somebody might pass you up because you don't have it or something, or you're they really want PRI or something and you didn't do it. But who cares? Do what interests you and do what actually you're going to apply to your athletes, patients, so forth. So even if that's a course that doesn't fall into category A or whatever, and it's category D, whatever it is, right? Go for it. Absolutely go for it. Make sense?
Mm-hmm. Solid.
Did I make sense again?
Again.
Oh, okay.
2 in a row.
Yeah,
nice.
2 for 2.
Winning.
All right. We'll go with Chad first. If you could eliminate or change one thing, whether it be modality, practice, mindset, I know you guys kind of covered it a little bit in athletic training, what would it be?
If I could eliminate?
Or change it.
Or change it.
And I can pick from anything or just the ones you listed?
Anything.
If I could change or eliminate anything?
Anything around the profession that you could adjust. And we just use modality, mindset, common practice.
I mean we've touched on it several times. Just the slapping a modality on without really understanding what you're trying to do. It's that mindset. It's getting away from that style of thinking. The ice is everything kind of thinking. Ice has a purpose, a time, and a place. You can figure that out for yourself. I'm not going to tell you. It's never. But just
subtle.
Yeah, that's what we do.
I love
it. No, I think that the mindset has to be, how do I help them get better? And if you think that the passive modality is going to make the person get better, I think you need to reevaluate a little bit what's going to really help someone. Passive modalities can help a little, but they're not going to fix.
No.
I like it. Because I agree with it, but I just think it's a good thought as well.
You got something?
Well, I'd go back to your pet peeve.
Yeah.
On top, kind of with that, right? Let's stop mindless athletic training. And my head goes to my biggest frustrations when I was in a typical athletic training room was the athlete that comes in and says, even if they are very polite, can I get a shoulder stretch, right? Can I get scraping, on my calf. And then if I could change one thing is athletic trainers ever just blindly doing whatever the athlete says, right?
Request, yeah.
Right? So the bring your own treatment kind of idea, like, hey, Chad, I need some cupping on my shoulder. You know what? I'm going to let you know what you need. Right? Like,
right.
Let's have a conversation about this first. And that was one of my biggest pet peeves when I was in a group of athletic trainers, was just this, oh my God, just doing whatever the athlete came in and said they needed.
Yeah.
And and maybe they're right. Totally, maybe they're right. But let's have the conversation first, and let's make sure you're doing it for a reason. So definitely, I would love to change every athletic trainer that unfortunately gets a little lazy about it and says, yeah, I'm just going to do it. Right?
For sure.
Mm-hmm. It reminds me of something that we talked about early on this year about kind of passing that 3 why test.
Oh, yeah.
You're doing things.
Mm-hmm.
You can answer why you're doing it, and then the progressive 3 rounds through. It's probably a pretty good thing, or at least you're on the right track and have the right idea. And not always innocent of that, especially working with football. Things got a little mindless at times, but that's one thing that I took away from working with Joel over here is, or at least that was something that he put in my brain. Yeah. Put some good ideas in there.
Gotta turn it
every now and again.
And it's different, right? You're the athlete that, comes in every practice or every game or something and gets their ankle taped. They don't, hopefully they ask, right? But it's just polite. But it's not, we don't have to rack our brains like, okay, do I really need to do this right now? No, we've established that this is what needs to happen.
No, for sure.
Right?
Yep.
So, don't, if you're a young athletic trainer, don't get confused with that. I'm not, sometimes you get in a routine with somebody that's what they need, right? I can't tell you how many of my guys would just lay down and we just started working.
Right.
And the only thing we talked about was something else.
Right.
It's when there's bring your own treatment and we just do it.
Yeah, it's that fast.
There's a reason you got an education.
Fast food mentality where you walk up to the line and I'll order one calf stretch and supersize that with a hot pack and maybe an ultrasound. No, that's not how it goes.
No.
Right.
No. Absolutely not.
All right. So, final question for you guys. What does being an athletic trainer mean to you?
It means taking care of everything.
Yeah.
It really.
I like that. That's
At the end of the day, we're always going to do what we think is best, in the best interest of the athlete, to help them. And I feel like a lot of times we will give up some of ourselves, whether that's time, effort, whatever it might be. Putting in the extra 20 minutes, 30 minutes. And, I thought I was going to leave at 4 o'clock, but now it's 4:45 because somebody walked in at the last minute and they need some advice. Or maybe it's walking somebody through a stretching program or a strengthening program that you might think is going to benefit them. It's being able to kind of adjust on the fly. You always talk about how many hats you wear. Being an athletic trainer is being able to wear every type of hat there is, and just being able to do it for the right reason.
Yeah, I think we talk a lot about how many things we do that aren't athletic training, right? Mm-hmm. I think we even had we talked about, we had what's the weirdest thing you've ever taped, right? And there were people taping lights back up on buses or vents up on buses. He had to tape a mirror back on a bus, and I just said bus a lot, right? But
we tried to tape a side panel back on a bus. Yeah.
But when athletic trainers are around, that's who people go to. That's who people are like, hey, do you think you could handle this situation because I don't know how to?
Right.
And I think as a profession, we all say, yeah, I got it. Don't worry about it. And there's some crazy value to that. I think it goes to promoting the profession, and like maybe we don't always have to be thought of as the low guy in the totem pole in certain areas, right? And that, you know what, we're really valuable because we can do a lot of different things. And I think it is so much of what I actually agree with. Like when I hear athletic training, I hear and think of somebody that's just always got it. Like when, you know, everything hits the fan. I mean, I don't know if you can swear on your podcast. I swear on our podcast.
Yeah, that's right.
But, you know, when crap hits the fan, like, we got it. When, you know, it's actually just a normal day, we got it. Like, hey, like, you know what? I know I've never tried that tape job before, but I bet I got it.
Right.
Like, I mean, we adapt really well. And I think what I want to hear, like, to switch your question up a little bit, like what I want to hear in my head and what I want other people to hear is that we're extremely valuable, right? Because that just leads to, you know, whether it's more money or just having a little bit more notoriety for this profession, which is great. And I don't know, I guess we're lucky, and I think you guys are probably feel very similar. Like, I remember the moment that I was like, yeah, this is what I'm supposed to do.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I mean, for people to be able to do that and it not be for a financial reason or for a convenience reason, I think is pretty awesome. So I think that's where we bond as athletic trainers, right? So
perfect. Well, we've been rolling for about an hour and a half now.
Whoa.
Hey, yo.
So just kind of wrap everything up. If people wanted to find you guys, follow you guys, tune in.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
My guess is they probably already found you once before if they're listening to this one, but that's all right. We'll throw it out there.
Not true.
Yeah, so we can be found on any podcast platform, just like anyone. The name of the podcast is Candid Athletic Training. We do have social media accounts on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and that's Candid_ATC.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So those are the easiest ways to find us.
We'll link all those up.
Yeah, little things coming up very soon. We got a website coming out.
Nice.
So that's going to be another one. And then, Candid_ATC.
Mm-hmm.
Look forward to interacting with all your millions of followers.
Oh, yes. So many. No. Well, thanks for meeting us at Mueller.
Yeah,
and
thank you.
We'll thank Mueller for hosting us.
Yeah, this is great.
We'll have to do it again sometime soon.
Would love
to.
Yeah,
awesome.
For sure.
Thanks,
guys.
Thank you.